Hello friends, this is Dr. Rajiv Gupta from SMT MD Patel Institute of Physical Science and Research, Anand. The course name is BSc Chemistry. The semester is 5th semester. The subject is Analytical Chemistry. Its subject code is US05 CCHE24. The unit number is second, which is chromatography first. In this lecture, I am going to talk on paper chromatography and its experimental details. So here a simple chromatography experiment is shown where a paper is used, a type of filter paper is used and a dot of a sample is made over it, and this mobile phase, which is a solvent or a mixture of solvent, travels upside due to capillary action, and when it comes in contact with this sample spot, then this sample spot solubilize in this solvent and moves in up direction, and different components which are present in this sample has been separated depending on their interaction with stationary phase. Paper chromatography was first introduced by German scientist Christian Friedrich Schonben in 1865. The paper chromatography is considered to be simplest and most widely used chromatographic technique. It is very simple in to teach students in classes. This chromatography technique is highly used. This is applicable for isolation, identification and quantitative determination of organic and inorganic compounds. So this technique is carried out mainly by the flow of solvents. These solvents which work as mobile phase on specifically designed filter paper, means a filter paper which is made up of a cellulose. These filter papers are available in different types depending on their pore size and other things. So with the use of these filter papers as stationary phase, we do set up for this paper chromatography experiment. There are two types of chromatographies. First, see here stationary phase, that is a filter paper is shown on which these various spots are has been made, and when the mobile phase goes from down to upside, then these different points move accordingly. If see what is shown here, these all four sample are individual components, means only one compound is present in each spot. So when the mobile phase is going in up direction, then these different organic compounds or other compounds travel on this paper with different distances. See, this travels with more distance and its travel distance is slow. So different organic compounds show different speeds with same mobile phase at this stationary phase. Paper chromatography has been divided into two parts. These are paper adsorption chromatography and paper partition chromatography. In paper adsorption chromatography, the adsorption of sample components takes place on the paper material itself. Here, the paper will be impregnated with silica or alumina gel like adsorbents. So these work as stationary phase here. and the solvent as mobile phase. But in case of partition chromatography, the moisture or water which is present in pores of the paper, pores of the paper which is made up of cellulose fibers, work as liquid stationary phase, where actually the partition takes place in between mobile phase and this water stationary phase. Here mobile phase could also be used as solvents. In general, paper chromatography, which is highly used, that is paper partition chromatography, where the water is present inside the pores of cellulose fibers in our used filter papers. Now the principle of separation is mainly partition rather than adsorption, and other all things are same that happens for chromatography. Cellular layers in filter paper contains moisture or water molecules which acts as stationary phase, and organic solvents and buffers are used as mobile phase. So it is a type of normal phase chromatography where the stationary phase is polar, and the mobile phase could be non-polar or semi-polar type. So here this stationary phase is actually a polar solvent, which is water here. Now the practical requirements of paper chromatography experiment. First is stationary phase and papers used. Application of sample means applying the sample on this stationary phase. Then the using of mobile phase. Now the fourth is development technique, when the mobile phase goes into up direction, from bottom to up direction, then the various components separates on printed on this stationary phase or this paper. So this is the development technique. And detecting or visualizing agents. So these are the various practical requirements to complete a paper chromatography experiment. Stationary phase and papers used. Generally very good quality papers that are Whatman filter papers which have different pore size. Different pore size means the fibers, cellulose fibers in these Whatman filter papers are arranged very perfectly, very accurately, and provides a specific pore size. These are available in market in many grades like number 1, 2, 3, 4, number 20, 40, 42, etc. These numbers actually depend on the pore size of these Whatman filter papers. In general, these papers contains 98 to 99% of alpha cellulose and 0.3 to 1% beta cellulose. Here 41 Whatman filter paper uh, packet is shown. Factors that governs the choice of paper: nature of sample and solvents used. Which type of sample we are using and which type of solvent mixture or solvents are being used. So depending on that we choose our paper, means which pore size paper we have to use, that depends on the nature of sample. Also based on quantitative or qualitative analysis, what we want to do, if we want to do only qualitative, or if we want to do qualitative plus quantitative, then it depends on that experiment. Based on the thickness of the paper, if paper thickness is different, then the movement of mobile phase and separation of the components of various components in sample varies. That also depends on the thickness of these filter papers. Paper chromatography, these type of papers could be used. First we have seen these simple Whatman paper, but these type of filter papers could be functionalized or could be immobilized with some other materials. So these type of filter papers could be used or could be specified for a specific experiment. Modified papers, acid or base washed filter papers, where the filter paper become acidic or basic, or glass fiber type papers, or we can use hydrophilic papers. Hydrophilic papers which attracts the sample components which are more polar. Papers modified with methanol, formamide, glycol, glycerol. These modified papers work as hydrophilic because these all are very good polar molecules which contains OH groups, hydroxyl groups, so they easily may form hydrogen bonding with polar molecules in mobile phase. Then hydrophobic papers, acetylation of OH groups leads to hydrophobic nature, hence can be used for reverse phase chromatography. If the paper is hydrophilic, then we can say it is normal phase chromatography where the stationary phase is polar and mobile phase is non-polar. But if we do acetylation of hydroxyl groups which are already present on these filter papers, then this filter paper becomes somewhat hydrophobic in nature. Now the stationary phase is hydrophobic, or we can say non-polar, and here we will use a polar uh, mobile phase. So the non-polar components which are present in mobile phase will be more attracted towards these hydrophobic papers. Impregnation of silica alumina or ion exchange resins can also be made. Now, preparation of paper. How we use these filter papers? First, we cut the paper which is required into desired shape. Generally, a rectangular shape is perfect, and size depending upon work to be carried out. Which side we require, that depend upon our work. If we want to separate only one sample, or we want to make only one spot on filter paper, then small shape, small size paper is sufficient. The starting line is marked on the paper. Here, as it is shown here, a line is marked on this paper with an ordinary pencil 2 centimeter from the bottom edge. This is the bottom edge. From this bottom edge, almost 1 centimeter or 2 centimeter height, this marking is made using pencil. On this starting line, why we say this is starting line? Because here the actual separation starts. On this starting line, marks are made 2 centimeter apart from each other. If we want to make more than one spots on this line, starting line, then we have to put these dots or spots at least 2 centimeter apart. So during separation or during uh, experiment, the components should not mix. Preparation of the solution. Solution means our sample. Choice of the suitable solvent for making solution is very important. Pure solutions can be applied directly on the paper, but solids are always dissolved in a small quantity of a suitable solvent. Suppose if our sample or mixture is already present in its liquid state, so we can directly apply this as it is on this filter paper. But if our sample is a solid, then we have to dissolve this solid into a proper solvent, and that solution will be applied on this filter paper or stationary phase. Biological tissues are treated with suitable solvents and their extracts obtained. Proteins can be precipitated with alcohol, and salts can be removed by treatment with ion exchange resins. Now, application of sample means how we apply our sample on this filter paper or stationary phase. The sample to be applied is dissolved in the mobile phase. Generally, the solvent which is used to prepare our actual sample solution, that is mobile phase, which will be used during experiment. So this dissolved sample in mobile phase will be applied as a small spot, as here it is shown. These are small spots on this starting line. Very small spots are prepared using capillaries or micropipettes. Okay, as a small spot on the origin line or starting line using capillary tube or micropipette. Why we use capillary tube or micropipette? Because we have to put very small amount of sample on this filter paper, very low amount of sample. So these things are very good to apply these sample components or samples on these stationary phase. Very low concentration is used to avoid larger zones, because if the concentration is high, or if we apply very large amount of our sample on filter paper, then during experiment, during the growth of that chromatogram, these spots may merge together due to their higher concentrations. The spot is dried on the filter paper and is placed in the developing chamber. When we apply this spot on filter paper, then this spot somewhat wet, and first we have to remove that mobile phase solvent from this spot. So we put it at room temperature for some time, because uh, the used solvents are generally volatile in nature, so they vaporize easily. But if they are less volatile, then we can use any dryers. So these can be uh, dried using these techniques. So this spot is dried on the filter paper. First we have to dry this, and after that we place it into developing chamber. This is the developing chamber. Okay, this cubic shape container, this is developing chamber, which is covered with a lid, because this solvent, generally used organic solvents which are volatile in nature, these solvents should not vaporize during experiment. Also, the inside atmosphere should be completely saturated with these solvent vapors, so we have to put lid over it. And this paper, this filter paper, which has this static line with spot, is put inside using a clip. Choice of the solvent. The commonly employed solvents are the polar solvents, but the choice depends on the nature of substance to be separated. If our substance is polar, means our sample is polar, then polar solvents are good. But if our sample contains non-polar substances, then non-polar or less polar solvents are good for separation. If pure solvents do not give satisfactory separation, a mixture of solvents of suitable polarity can be applied. Means, if we want a suitable polarity, so we can mix some polar solvents and some semi-polar and non-polar solvents, so we can change the polarity of that used mobile phase. That actually depends on our sample quality. If our sample contains polar, semi-polar and non-polar components, then this type of mixture is very good for separating that type of components. Mobile phase could be pure solvents like water, that is any other solvent that is volatile. Pure solvents, buffer solutions, or mixtures of solvents. Also, okay, water also can be used. Examples: hydrophilic mobile phase means a mixture of two or three solvents are used to form these type of mobile phase. So hydrophilic mobile phase obviously will be made up of polar solvents like isopropanol, ammonia and water in this ratio 9 raised to 1 raised to 2. So it work as hydrophilic mobile phase. Also methanol water system, two component mobile phase, 4 raised to 1 ratio. It also work as hydrophilic mobile phase. And butanol, glacial acetic acid, water, 4 raised to 1 raised to 5 ratio, that also work as hydrophilic mobile phase. And these are hydrophobic mobile phase, which are made up of using these two components, two solvents, dimethyl ether and cyclohexane, or kerosene and 70% isopropanol. So these work as hydrophobic mobile phases. So depending on our sample or our experiment, what we use, hydrophilic or hydrophobic, that depends on our sample nature. Chromatographic chamber, the chamber in which this chromatography experiment runs and different components separated over stationary phase. The chromatographic chamber are made up of many materials like glass, plastic or stainless steel. If it is made up of glass, then we can clearly show, clearly see the uh, the growth of this chromatogram. Glass tank are preferred most. They are available in various dimensions depending upon paper length and development type. If we want large paper, if we want to use large paper, then this container, this chamber should be large. The chamber atmosphere should be saturated with solvent. To occur the atmosphere saturated, we have to put a lid over it, means we have to cover during experiment. This chamber we have to cover. So these solvents, which are generally volatile in nature, the whole volume of this chamber will be covered by these vapors, these solvent vapors, and there will be no other interference during this experiment. Now development technique. Paper is flexible when compared to glass plate used in TLC. See here a comparison is shown of TLC with paper chromatography. In TLC technique, we cannot uh, turn or rotate the TLC plate because it is very uh, robust and strong. But in case of paper chromatography, paper is very flexible, so we can easily put this paper inside this developing chamber. Several types of development are possible which increases the ease of operation. The paper is dipped in solvent in such a manner that the spot will not dip completely into the solvent. So the spot which is made by our sample should not dip inside this mobile phase or solvent. It should be just above the uh, level of this solvent. If it will be dipped in solvent, then it will diffuse into the solvent and removed from the paper, so we will not get proper results. The solvent will rise up and it is allowed to run 2/3 of paper height for better and efficient results. So 2/3 of paper, when the uh, solvent or mobile phase goes through the primary initial line to solvent front, that height should be 2/3 of the paper, used paper height. Now different types of development techniques are ascending development and descending development. So first we see ascending development, that is shown as go up, means here the solvent flows against gravity, means from bottom side to top side. Here the solvent is placed at bottom in this container, in this chamber, and this solvent goes from bottom to top side or go upside. against gravity. The spots are kept at the bottom portion of paper and kept in a chamber with mobile phase solvent at the bottom as shown here. The glass jar or container or chamber which is covered by a lid. Here a clips are shown from which using these we can hold this paper. Now we can see here the solvent is rising in towards upside on this paper strip, and here we can see that descending type, a downward slope means the mobile phase or solvent moves from top to down, top side to down side or bottom side. This is carried out in a special chamber where the solvent holder is at top as shown here. This is the descending type chromatography where solvent has been put on top side. The spot is kept at the top and the solvent flows down the paper. Okay, in this method solvent moves from top to bottom, so it is called descending chromatography. Advantage: what is the advantage of descending chromatography is that its development is faster because here gravity also supports the movement of mobile phase. Ascending descending development, it is a hybrid technique where both ascending and descending type methods are used. Only length of separation increased, means the length of this paper stationary phase is increased. First ascending takes place followed by descending. So for specific type of samples these both techniques are involved in a single experiment. Now circular radial development. Generally we see in labs that the Whatman filter papers are available in a circular shape or round shape. These filter papers or Whatman papers can be used as a paper this radial development. Here the spot of sample is kept at center of the circular paper. This is shown is a circular filter paper. This spot of our sample will be placed at this center point of this paper. The solvent flows through a wick at a center and spreads in all directions uniformly and radially. Here it is wick. It is wick which is formed by using a scissor, by cutting this some portion of this filter paper, round filter paper from this portion to this center portion. So this wick actually will be dipped in this mobile phase, and this mobile phase goes upside due to this capillary action or moves upside, and finally it spreads radially all over the filter paper. So this spot which is formed just near the wick at center point of this filter paper, when comes into contact with mobile phase, is solubilized in this mobile phase and spreads radially on this filter paper, and according to chromatography the components will be separated according to their interaction with these filter paper stationary phase. Here a petri dish is shown in which this experiment is going on. This petri dish itself works as a chromatography chamber which is covered by a lid, so the solvent could not vaporize during experiment. Two-dimensional development. In this method the chromatography is developed in one direction, and after development the paper is developed in the second direction, allowing more compounds to be separated into individual spots. Sometimes when we run the chromatography or paper chromatography for the first time, some components will be separated perfectly, but some spots we will get on filter paper that contains more than one compounds. So to separate that compounds we turn filter paper by 90 degree, and put it in another type solvent mixture which is good for that mixed spots. In this second direction, either same solvent or different solvent system could be used for development. Generally, different solvent system will be used. Drying the chromatogram. So, what is chromatogram? After the after finishing the experiment of chromatography, the various colored components are printed over the filter paper, so that filter paper which has various spots, colored spots, is said as chromatogram. So how we dry this is very simple process. If our solvent used mobile phase is very volatile, then we can put it at room temperature for some time, and the whole solvent will vaporize and the spots and whole filter paper becomes dry. But these are somewhat non-volatile or less volatile, then we can use some these type of dryers. Okay, after the solvent has moved a certain distance for certain time, the chromatogram is taken out from the tank and position of the solvent front is marked with a pencil. So first we have to mark before drying first we have to mark the solvent front, that front where our mobile phase reaches the topmost region of the filter paper. If we say ascending chromatography, that is the solvent from first we have to mark this, then we dry this filter paper or this chromatogram. They are dried by cold or hot air depending on volatility of solvents. A simple hair dryer is a convenient, as shown here. This is a simple hair dryer to dry these chromatograms. Detecting visualizing agents. If the substances are colored, they are visually detected easily. Suppose if our sample contains components where the all components have their specific colors like red color, blue color, green color, then these colors can be visualized with our naked eye. So there is no requirement of these agents. But if the substances are color or sample components are colorless, then some physical and chemical methods are required to detect these spots, because after completion of experiment or drying that chromatogram, some points of sample components or all the points of sample components could not be easily visible because they could be colorless. So some physical and chemical methods should be used to detect these spots. So what are the physical methods? The physical methods are these: iodine chamber method, UV chamber for fluorescent compounds at 254 to 365 nanometer wavelength. Means in this UV chamber, the fluorescent compounds, there are many organic compounds which show fluorescence in presence of UV light, where in presence of this UV radiation the electrons go at higher levels, and when they returns at their low level, then they illuminate or they radiate some radiation. So they can easily visualize in these UV chambers. And these iodine chambers, where iodine is put inside this chamber, and this developed plate or developed paper will be put in this inside this iodine chamber. Then these iodine vapors which are present in iodine chamber will create or will make visualize that invisible points or spots. So the remaining part of this lecture I will discuss in next class. Okay, thank you for listening the lecture.